I'm live. It says a poor condition, but it always says that. If it's too poor, when anybody comes on, I can pull up. Finally getting a rainy day here in British Columbia. We need it. I started a little bit later. I'm sorry for that. Hope it didn't keep anybody waiting or somebody coming early, because I know there are a few people out there that sound like they look forward to me coming on. But I decided to go get myself kind of like one of these. Can't really say who it is or anything, because you'll make it that I can't get my my hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this video that's coming up. Anybody out there? 36 people? Holy cow. Well, you guys all just give thumbs ups, okay? Appreciate that. Kapow. Anyways, so we are here because of Bigfoot. That guy right here. That's why I'm here. I don't know why you're here. You might just be coming across. Oh, hey, there's Gary. How you doing? Right on. So, Gary, I'm trying to take a day off and stay away from video stuff and going, because all I have to do is just walk right there and I can start seeing stuff. Hey, man, I'm doing really good. And so, I'm trying to, for me to be able to have a non-Bigfoot thinking, just nothing about them at all day. You get what I'm saying? There's everything that reminds me of them, not just him. So looking out here constantly, so I can constantly have them on my mind, and I like to be able to grasp onto things. Like yesterday, I got to take a sister of mine all the way out to the Tawasin Ferry, and so we had a great time just going there and chit-chatting and so on and so forth, drop her off, and when I started to come back, that's when I decided, okay, it's okay for me to do some research, and out in Tawasin there and such, man, oh man, yeah. My theory, if you've heard this, Gary, or anybody else out there, if you heard this, they 100%, I know I will go to my deathbed in this. I know 100% that I will go to my deathbed believing that they truly are caretakers of the land. And a lot of the reason I'm trying to rat them out still is just because of some other ways of doing it. I don't trust them. I don't know if it's because they got something against us, or if it's just in their in their nature of just what they're doing. Like an ant does what he does, and could be like that. But I believe what I'm seeing is an evolution happening. They're evolving. They're doing more. They're overdoing. I agree. How do you agree? Like, what do you, how do you know they're having something to do, if you don't mind me asking, and you could just, because of this, how do you know that they have something to do with the trees, if you don't mind me asking, And, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're into the tree stuff, if you're at all understanding that, but I don't talk on most people's level. You hear about this tree stuff. Structures and stuff. Okay, so there you go. You're only saying the word structures, and I'm not insulting you, okay? We all have to be educated, and we're all getting educated, and I get educated, and my stuff I pass on to you, and if I don't think you're hearing me quite right, I twist it so you can hear it better. I don't talk much about structures. I'm like, who cares? Patterson guys, they used to talk about structures and footprints and stuff. Then they found Patty. And still today, many guys out there that are high celebrity in the YouTube world for watching talk about structures and footprints and stuff, and they're talking about something that's 50 plus years old. I've gone beyond that. Hello, Tin Man Silverback. Hey, how's it going? Right on. Right on for that. Silverback says that he agrees that they're caretakers of the land. Peace out means you're leaving. I know that. I'll get back to that, and I know that's good, as I just want to see them. Oh, I hear you, Gary. But the thing is, so your processes are those. And wanting to get videos, pictures and stuff, show the world, share your information, or maybe it's not even like that. Maybe it's just all about your knowledge and stuff like that. Very well. But I've stepped so far into their yard, I see how they really are affecting us humans daily, all the time, all over the world. I know for a fact that they have cultures in their marking, but that culture is still going to be a culture that I just have to break the code when I'm in different communities, different areas, different world spots than here. So having said that, I know how simple it is to get to just knowing, okay, this is how heavy it is right here. I know how to start to know how they go heavier this way. I know how to start realizing that we're coming towards where their bigger gathering is. And then out here, it's very vast land, but very aggressive wherever we live, and a lot less aggressive on the outer skirts. But then aggressive again if there's one or two houses that say happen to be on those outer skirts, then it'll be aggressive again a little bit. And it's all about, I believe, the eyes on us to always know kind of, especially if there's a guy like me where they think, hey, that guy drives around a lot, he looks in our bushes a lot, he walks in our yards a lot, let's keep an eye on him. So you think about at nighttime how simple it is for them. Daytime, it's the same thing. Hey, buddy. Hey, Torben, how's it going, brother? Glad you could make it. Can cloak. Yeah, I hear you, but I talk about that so Gary's saying here, these things can cloak, and this means they're more intelligent. They're from somewhere else. And then he says, I think. And awesome for saying you think that. Hey, that's good, Torben. Torben. I'm sorry, that's obviously not, that's from your home country name, right? So I will mispronounce sometimes. Anyway, so when it comes to that, cloaking refers to hiding. That's all cloaking is. So we can cloak. We can hide in amongst stuff and get down and get into a spot in such a way that you guys can't figure out what I'm really up to. That's cloaking with, I can cloak with maybe the stuff that I have in my car sort of thing, And there's an adjustment while you're doing that and stuff, and that's part of the cloaking procedure. And then more intelligent means more intelligent than apes and stuff like that, but more intelligent than us, I don't see evidence of that myself personally. But I see wicked intelligence in that natural field of however a bear survives isn't just because of huge strength and size, or else a raccoon wouldn't have such a successful record because he's such a difference on size. So there's so much of that nature thing, and the component of what they're made of helps them survive alone. And these things are the same thing. We're not the same way. We get out there and we will, stick your hands in water for 15 minutes and take them out. Imagine our body out in a severe condition for 15 minutes. We really were not made doing the same stuff. Is however I'm trying to say it there. I'm going to put on my glasses. My dad's old glasses, but we can do this. Yeah, it's because they're, you can't find our most humans' bones too when we hang out in communions, because we'll bury them and we'll do stuff with the bones, you know. So just to answer a question for Gary, he's wondering about the bones, why we haven't found bones and stuff. And I say it's that kind of stuff. They take care of their own and stuff. They, like I say, they know what we're up to. They know what their own families are up to. It's not like the old ones, how we might think that their old ones are getting kicked out and stuff. I don't believe it's going to be like that. I think the old ones, if one goes out and gets himself into some kind of trouble, it's exactly that. He's just out doing his thing. They're a gypsy by heart, a migrator by heart, you know, something like that. They like to, and if you like getting out there and you like seeing the mountains and stuff like that, you get a taste of that understanding right there. Yes, but we have dug up bones and giants, but never Bigfoot. Yeah, I hear you. We don't know what they do with the bones then, basically. It's the truth of it. And whether because the way that I talk about Bigfoot, he's obviously with, how's that? No? Yes, but we have dug up bones, giants, but never Bigfoot. I hear you. They're smart. Yeah, I hear you. Lots going on out there. Hey, how many are listening? Or on the View? It doesn't say here. Torben, you got a question? Guess I don't have to yell out your name. I'm here. Hey, Mags, how's it going? Not yet, Torben. Okay, that's all right. Hey, Mags, you got a question. Something really interesting. What if they're from somewhere else? Who knows? Well, we don't know that for sure, but I do talk about that. I believe that they're not, and I talk about reasons how I come to that theory. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Do I speak with them? Not really. I try not to interact with them too much. You know, once you interact, then you're opening up a whole different door. I go into their yards all the time and stuff. I don't have to open up that door. You know, it's not necessary for me to think that, you know, they're going to be ready to sit down and talk with me or something. So I interact in a way where, hey, right on, Rick. You finally got on. Perfect. So yeah, I interact where I'm in their yard. I'm sure I'm confusing to them sometimes. Right on, Torben. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, they haven't, and they used to have some kind of a relationship with them too. But so Gary's pointing out how the natives have known them for thousands of years and stuff. But what they don't really truly understand is what their full existence is really all about. That's part of what I say to you, Gary. I'm telling you right now, it's not the case for me. I find them all the time. That's why I put down on my channel that I'm a tracker. And you know, I can't say that for sure, Rick. And I do have my, you know, I do have my fine art skills too. Right? Like I don't like necessarily teaching people how to have full out success going to be out there with those beings. So I'm careful on all the information that I teach. I actually teach you guys many signs to understand when they're around your yard heavily as it compared to lightly. And different things like this, you know, with your own judgment and stuff. You could actually, through watching my show, you could your own logic could guide you in a way to think of how you might protect your yard in a way that you're just making it easier known when they're around, if you follow me there. So yeah, I hear you. So Mags is saying Mother Nature is their business. You are right on the money regarding their interference with trees and etc. And that etc. is highways. Is good. We're going to end up figuring out that it involves dams. It'll involve concrete. It'll involve rock, like normal, just ginormous rock. It involves the trees. It involves the hydro poles. I've yet, out here in Canada, in my area, they do and used to for a while use the concrete hydro poles. I've come across those a couple of times and haven't seen any sign of them thinking they can monkey one of those things around. So that would be interesting, and that's where we might end up having to go with hydro poles, is back to the concrete ones. So you can just see, talking about that, how expenses are, like, things are going to be changing, because their numbers are changing. So, okay, so Rick's saying, in a lot of ways, you're on a whole other level than a lot of people that do this, and I mean that in a good way. And I appreciate that, Rick, and I know you're a guy that had picked up on that a long time back. I'm intrigued by watching a lot of your videos. Your intelligence is on a whole other level. I don't know about my intelligence, man. I'm just a guy. But I'm educated this way, so I have an amount of intelligence that allows me to be educated this way. And if we sat there at a coffee table and I told you my 52 years of life, that I could tell you a story from every year, starting probably like 3 years old, and every story would be kind of eventful. And you could understand how those events, a lot of them, work to this 52-year-old guy that sits here and says he can track Bigfoot. And I have, and people in my own family don't really think to themselves about my events and how it may have me sitting here, because I think they keep having to go, it has to do with mentality. But you know what? Everybody has a mentality, so we all have to deal with mentality. I seen my mother deal with her own mentality, and I talk about her as being like up there with the highest ranked women that I knew, and that's not just based on because she was my mother. It was also based on how I seen her outside the family kind of setting, right, as not being the mother then and stuff. So I'm sure you hear what I'm saying. So that's part of it, and animal psychology, human psychology. Doesn't mean I'm a master of anything, but I, have thought a lot about different things, and I've stood on a few different streets. And Gary's saying, I don't think I would like to try and trap. No. Yeah, Gary's saying, I don't think I would like to try to trap one. That would be a death sentence, and I 100% agree with that. I don't think that's a good idea. We start doing that kind of stuff. We have successfully trapped one. You know what we do? Every time we successfully do something, it starts to evolve something. So that's just not good. We can evaluate, like we're already evaluating. Whoever's following my stuff, like Rick says there, it could be the top information out there. It's not to say the government's not hiding something. Who knows with that kind of stuff. I don't understand that myself, but so let's just say that that's top stuff. Well, that's why it's on YouTube right now. Not so we go out there and we can start having a war with Bigfoot, like Gary's pointing out, a war with Bigfoot. We don't want to do that. They've been able to stay this hidden like they have for these hundreds of years and thousands of years, and the natives have thousands of year-old stories. But the Bigfoot are just not behaving properly as they used to. So they're a lot more aggressive and stuff, and so we do need to research them. We need to sit back and watch And I know we'll be able to come up with pattern systems to make them back off. Hey, no, go into your area, and you just, I say the whole thing, you kind of try to keep it under their clue. Don't allow, if I could do it my way, and they came to me and said, okay, Tin Man, how are we doing this? Okay, there's going to be a full-out pyramid order of how this works. And all the major details, which are going to be the fewer time details, have to work with the top of the pyramid. Have to know. And I want to be one of those guys, if not that guy. So I want to know when the big moves, and I'll tell you always what the big move has to be, would be as best as we can, let's just pretend we don't know they exist. Keep doing it the exact same way that we're doing it. That's why I almost wanted the government to come involved. Take my stuff, take my information, and because I don't know if it's a good idea to start telling people. But then there's the other flip side of the coin. What if, for some reason, we do, in 20 years, have to be starting to protect ourselves against these guys? What if they're just walking down our streets and they're assholes? You know, and our cars are all built different to bump them out of the way or something. Like, what is really going on? My girlfriend of 26 years allows that be because I follow Bigfoot and people. If I go to talk to her about something, she stops me and says, is it about Bigfoot? And I'll say yes. She says, I don't care. That's funny, Rick. Yeah, it can be an overwhelming subject, so make sure you take your breaks for sure, man. Gary's saying the more land we take, the less room for them. And it's not about room. I don't think it's about that, but I'm sure they really get tired of building their places and having to rebuild them again because we go in there and destroy them. Because they do eco changes. You know, it's not that they're just building their home and their environment and their play area for the kids. They're kids, man. They like to play. Their kids like to play. You look at all the animals. We could probably see it in some kind of, look at the tadpoles and stuff. You know, as the little baby tadpoles, they actually are playing there. Lots of the time, they're not just eating. Maybe they want to spread the message of how to care. Yeah, but the thing is, they're not necessarily doing it right, though, Megs. I don't agree. So Megs is saying maybe they want to spread the message of how to care of our planet. And the time for hiding is in the past. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe the time for hiding, maybe they are starting to make that change. But, you know, for the care of our planet, maybe it does have to evolve the way they're doing it. You know, who am I to say that, you know? You know, when it comes to that, however the moon's acting out there, we can do all our suspicious science on it and stuff like that, but how much do we really understand that end of it? You know, we keep talking about almost this world end kind of weird shit where it's too hot and it's too cold and I'm confused and all that kind of stuff. And now the trees are overgrowing and that's being understood in a lot of places. I think probably even in dry states, just watch for that heavy rain and you go look at some bases of the trees, the trunks of the trees and stuff and see if they just went and pull it all up, because that's what these ones really have done. Drastically. A lot of trees that were only whatever, you know, over doubled the no problem. Some trees have tripled in size, and then some trees, like in particular place where I'm parked right now and I talk about it, they kept them the same size, and that's the true size of what those trees used to be like when we were whatever. We'd buy them, you know, and they'd put them in malls and stuff, and the tree would last for 20 or 30 years there or whatever, not growing into this ginormous thing. But here now they, mall owners don't want necessarily ginormous trees when they replace them. We have so many more cameras now. This is what I think. Yeah. Oh, you just think it's because of that? Yeah, but, you know, listen to the visual stories. You know, some of those visual stories will be made up stories, but a lot of those visual stories are big time real stories, I believe. Like, I listen to a lot of, I listen to different clues. You'll have your clues too that you have that give you a really good... Hey, Brown Dwarf, how's it going? Brown Dwarf. You said dirt there and I'm going, oops. Good one. In the house. Right on, brother. Last time I was calling him brown dirt a few times, so... Now you're going to have me mixed up, man, because I went with dwarf right off the bat there. That's good, brother. Hey, we did some good talk at the beginning, so make sure you rewind, and if you haven't been here, check it out if you want. It was only, you know, you'll be able to kind of pop into it and see where it was. But yeah, everything's going good. Gary's been talking a lot, and that's good. Those... Yeah. Yeah, I don't think people really have to fake stuff so much anymore, right? They put their time and energy into not faking and trying to figure out some codes. They would be able to come up with, well, there's tricks to the trade, isn't there? So Gary, Underwater Man, is that one of the guys that's a faker? Or is there somebody out there talking like there's underwater men and people? You know, I do talk about how these guys... Okay, that's confusing. You're Aquaman. I knew I recognized your thumbnail. You know, you're kind of standing there in the dark a little bit like this, and I'm going, that's Aquaman. Kidding. Ha 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 ha. Do you remember Aquaman? I used to try to swim like Aquaman. You can talk a lot? Yeah. So, who jumped in there? Brown Dwarf. What's up? Hey, you haven't gone back and listened to the cave video, have you? Bet you $100 you haven't. That's a flop, because I'm telling you, man, right now, you don't know what you're missing there, and you could be trying to convince people. It's hard to do it, but you can trying to convince people. There was 2 tunnels there. There was 2 connections. There's a good way for you to be now go in your mind and stand there and go, yeah, that sound didn't really, it did this. You know? But if you would have walked out to those people and asked them, hey, was that your dog, or did you hear that dog barking? They would go, what dog? Because there's certain control and stuff when it comes to just directional, making sure their voice is better going a certain thing instead of illuminating everybody. It's like us controlling light or something you really could with your hand in front of the light bulb. Yeah, all is well for sure, Mr. Brown. I'm hanging in there. Getting pretty tired and living in the car. I came close to almost having a deal that I could do for a camper it was looking for a C-Class, a motorized Chevy van, so that would have been nice, but next one. So I really got to get off of my butt here and try to do something. Yeah, Brown Dwarf, you're going to look into that? I really suggest it, man. I'm on the ball there, man, 100%. I know I am. I went back and listened to it a couple of times. I don't look for gifts, Mags. You know, I'm not, you know, I do so many hours of walking. You know, I really should be, like, almost every time. Like, when I was out yesterday, I was thinking, because I went to 2 different spots. Just 2 different spots, totally 2 different spots, and we're able to just know I'm in 2 hot spots. And, excuse me. Because I went and got my coffee and I'm forgetting to drink. Because I went to those 2 hot spots, I'm sitting there thinking afterwards, I really got to just have a notepad where I'm just writing down a couple of details. I've done that many times before, the notepad thing. I'm going to come back and look at your guys' questions in a second here. I got to cover that up. Maybe I can show that part. Canada. If you like to invest in money and you're still into investing and stuff like that, even though the world's going to collapse, I'm kidding. This company has come into your if you can figure it out, has come into your country. And if I was an investor, I would invest in it in your country. It's a phenomenal company here in Canada. Probably, I would rate it probably the top one company in Canada myself. So I'm going to go back and look at some questions. Okay. So Torben, he says, Ian is one of the greatest guys that I've ever known. Kidding. Ian, who is... It has put the cave video up. I would love to see it. Who put up that cave video? It's Brown Dwarf. He's right below you in the question, maybe there. You can go on him. He looks like a caveman kind of a picture there. And it's like about 2.5 weeks back, and you kind of see a cave there, and I think the word cave is a couple of words into it or whatever. But I just read my directions. I talk to him a little bit on the comments there. So just check out my comments, see if it directs you to it, and have a listen, man. And basically you're going to hear awesome vocal work of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, faking out Brown Dwarf, and it's probably a very good thing that him and his son didn't think to go in there. But the sounds in themselves is what kept him doing that. Remember, I talk about severe tinnitus and hyperacusis. And I kid you not, I used to talk about this a lot earlier in my videos. I used to say to people, tell me if you hear a little whistling and stuff like that, because I might not hear lots of stuff. And there's times where I'm even listening to these videos and I had no clue that whistling was going on around me, because I can put myself back into some spots pretty quick, right? Especially hot spots and stuff. So there's been times where they're probably, even the growling video where the one growls at me, when he first started to growl at me, the first couple of noises, I register something's going on. But I don't know he was growling. Because if I registered that sound of a growl, what I hear, you guys might not be able to pick up on it the same as me, because I'm able to tune into it. Plus, at the very end of the 30 seconds, I tune, and that's the one that makes me really tune into it. But the first time listening to it, I heard it right away, like, holy shit. And then I listened to the whole thing, and then he does it again. That was the one that scared me off. But, yeah, scary stuff. Voice specialists in some ways. It's not like they can go, hi Ian, it's your mother, can you come home? No, they're not that kind of a voice specialist. We got guys that can make the same noises that they can make, no problem. So, have I been zapped? Megs asked. No, I haven't been zapped. I don't understand what that would do. Yeah, dogs crap themselves and stuff. Have you heard the story about the hunter that talks about his dog getting ripped in half? Try punching it up just like that if you haven't. You know, when you listen to the guy's story, you know, he even says he pees himself. That doesn't necessarily mean it was a full bowel movement, but I believe him that he even wet himself to some degree when that all went down. Yeah, you got to try punching that one up and seeing if you can find it. I seen it on somebody's channel, I think, and they had uploaded or something. I can't remember exactly, but I've seen it just recently, so it probably should come up. But the hunter goes and does a night hunt. I'll just tell it quickly. It's really interesting. He goes to do a night hunt. His dog's not in the mood. He has to physically pull his dog out of the truck. It's black out. He at first has his lights on and, you know, his spotlights on, or I believe, pulls his dog out. His dog's trying to jump back in the truck and stuff. He ends up forcing his dog to go, and his dog might have done a run and then come back or something. I can't remember. But then all of a sudden, so he has all his lights off, so his dog won't come back to the truck. That's the deal, I guess, when you're training a dog, is the lights are off right here, so you're not supposed to be right here. And then all of a sudden he hears a whimper, kind of a growlish whimper, like from his dog. So he walks just around the corner, turns on his light like that. A big Sasquatch, Bigfoot, is standing there with his dog in two. The one part was his front hind, like this leg and his head and stuff, right through by the sounds of it. And the other, so he must have went, I was thinking, and through ribs somehow like that, and he's just dumb. Well, he didn't even say it like that. You guys still there? No, I'm not hearing voices. Just somebody tried texting me. Or I mean, sending me a hello. Okay, is it still doing all right? Getting edible mushroom flushes. You know, I would believe there's probably tons of what's going on. If you're asking me at all, remember I talk about these guys as the gardeners. They're not just going like this with the trees. They plant trees, they plant mushrooms, they plant weeds, they plant grass. They'll take our grass, they'll take it somewhere else. Literally just stealing our grass. Not that it's a big deal, but it is what it is. They're taking our grass from somewhere maybe you just had placed it, or just a place that there's lots of grass, and they kind of make it even look like maybe the garden has expanded a bit. So is it coming? So it is coming in okay, eh, Gary? Okay. I heard what? Brown dwarf. You've heard it too many times, right? I'm like that. I can pester, but this is an ultimate subject, right? So, are you getting... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not a mushroom guy. Magic mushrooms. In the right environment, I'd probably try them one more time in light dose. The last time I did them was with my brother. He had his, not my deceased brother, because he passed away when he was 36, but my other brother when he had his 50th. I went to his house and he was having a big mushroom party there, so I indulged, and yeah, it was nice, controllable, good time. What would I have been? 41, I think. I think so. So, Rick, I'm 52. Hey, cool. Yeah, you think so? Well, I gotta say that one out loud, Ray, Rick. You know, because, Rick, if you do this, this stuff doesn't come up on the channel afterwards. So I'm reading your stuff, and people have no idea what I was doing, just in case you don't know that. Anyway, so Rick is saying that he's also 52. He wishes my family and the channel best of everything, and that we're all feeling good and everything, and for you on your channel, you're going to become a famous guy. Yeah, you think so, eh? You know, I think this information will become famous unless it gets robbed or something. Bigfoot, maybe. Even if you don't want to become famous. Oh, okay, because I believe you're on a destination. I just love watching. You're very, very exciting and interesting. Thanks very much, Rick. Very laughable. Are you saying I'm laughable too, so I can make people laugh? That's good. It's always nice when you know, I do have my real serious side, but I don't like to be always in serious side. Sometimes when I'm in serious side, I'm too intense. And when I'm too intense, I'm too hard on I got that tinnitus and my hyperacusis. I'm sure you've heard me say it, and I'll say it for the rest of my life. I just don't like talking about it all the time. But another drink of coffee. So yeah, now what we're coming into is we're coming into the wet season. Most places, I would imagine. Here I am. Our first pretty full, kind of complete day of rain, I think, in some time. And our trees are just going to bounce from this. They're going to love this. It's not very heavy, but they're going to bounce in a way where they're just going to suck it, trunk suck it. So you, if you feel like it, go out there and test out some of my theories. Go out there and look at the spacing of these cuts, these scars and stuff. Going out there and like I do micro shots inside those cuts and stuff, so you can tell the, you know, where the real depth of the cut could be coming from. If it's coming from a score or if it's coming from a real tiny stress, because the tree, that's when you will be trying to look at the fibers of the tree. So, you know, bring all that kind of stuff into the thoughts and bring your own figurings into it. Try to wonder why, how does it, you know, these look like butchered trunks up to here, and now a few sporadics, and now the tree is almost beautiful here. You think about that, and then next time or the next season or whatever, you're going to be far peculiar, because this one's staged heavier, and that part now is probably staged like this one was, and so on and so forth. So you get to start to read the staging systems of even bark. Oh, Mags, you're taking off? Okay. Oh, gotta go to bed. Okay. Oh, wow. Hey, yeah. Oh, in Scotland. That's right. I forgot about that. A Scottish sister. Well, have a great one. I should talk my daughter into coming to Scotland. She wants to do a world trip, and her and her girlfriend, not a world trip, but she wants to do a really cool trip. They've been talking Ireland, so I'm saying, well, we got some Ireland family we could look up. Take care, Mags. Yeah, Brown Dwarf does have a great channel. I'm always jumping into Brown Dwarfs too. I just can't do them all. And now when I go there, half the time I'm just going to jump over to that one video that I love. You know, over the few years here, I've pointed out some really good stuff to people on their videos and stuff, and then I've gone back a few times to check and see if they've zoned in on it. I'm talking about one time, there's one guy out there and he's back and forth on a tree and all this kind of stuff. And I don't think the people ever follow me up. I think they end up thinking that I don't have a skill. But that's, that doing the video, analyzing part of it, I do have some skill. But I don't want to be a video analyzer, and I find it to be, I don't have proper glasses, and you know, like you guys know that. These are my dad's glasses. It's probably from like the 70s or 80s or something, and they work great for my eyesight. Not perfect, but great. 10 a.m. there, eh? Wow. What time am I here? I'm at, 5 p.m. Do you watch Scott Carpenter? No, I don't. What's Scott Carpenter? I've heard Scott Carpenter. I think I might even have him subbed. Like, I got a lot of people that I've just subbed. People who sub me, I sub them back, but I don't. A couple of my regular people, I try to get away from this because I have learned my stuff now. I'm teaching my stuff now. Nice. And that's Humboldt County, California. Humboldt. It must be a county you drive through or something like that, eh? Because I know that county, and we've, like, as a kid and stuff, gone down the coast to California and such. He is Bigfoot. Tin Man, do you watch Scott Carpenter? He is Bigfoot, is he? Well, you think he's the master? You think he's above me? I bet you I could prove a lot of this stuff, something maybe different. I might be able to help him out, actually. I'll go look him out. Scott Carpenter. I'll try to remember. I know I do long videos. Lots of people like my long videos. So when I've done long videos, people who don't like them, you know, pop in the first day and go down to the messages, see if anybody's pointed something out. I know sometimes people might be thinking that I put up too many, but you're wrong, because when I go to a spot, I'm going to a spot that's actually hot. And in probably that few days, those few videos, like say there were 7 videos I put up, and you can see trees in all of them. I'm most likely, good chance, read my notes or whatever, the hidden notes, I'm most likely in the same habitat. If I'm taking one after another video like that and I'm putting all my information up, keeping very little out of edit, then that means I'm in a hot spot, and I'm trying to say to the world, look guys, there's a lot of them. There's way more than we understand and stuff, so we just need to understand this and believe it. I don't have the time to necessarily go through each one, and there's kind of in one of my videos just recently that I spotted, I think I might have pointed it out. I swear, man, I swear, a beautiful female, just like it's a chimpanzee or something like that, squatted down in this sideways position. You get to see the whole side profile of her like this and stuff. She's in a bit of a video, so I've clipped her from the video, and yeah, very hard for the unbeliever to see. Colors, they'll say, yeah, I see something black there and gray, or they might be able to pick out 2 colors, but they won't be able to see the whiteness in the eyebrow. It looks like an eyebrow separation, and different things like this when, we're that ignorant. But so what I think I'm going to do, because I'm one of these guys that get bummed out when I look at my channel and I don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why I'm still at 1,500 subs. I'm going on like this all the time. I think I got pretty top stuff. So that's fine. That's the way it is. But, so what in reality I can do is I can sit back, and I'm going to try harder on a couple of things. One of the things is I got to try hard on my sleeping arrangements. I want to see what I can change here. And the other thing that I want to try harder on is seeing if I can do more video editing, getting some more clips, because I know a handful of different, handful at least, of really good pictures for those people who are able to see this girl here. Where am I? Oh, over here, sorry. So for the people that are able to see that girl right there, kind of pick out that, you see a row of eyes there, you see the nasals, that whitish part right there, right here, could be like a finger. You can almost see, like, is there 2 eyes there? But I'm wondering if it's more 2-digit indents like that. Because in the clip, I figure this to be a finger, and then these guys are all doing their finger tricks. So why didn't she big into her finger trick? You see another one right here, finger tricks. Another one right there. Another one right here. This bush was just full of them. And they're all young and stuff. I don't know what people see on the other side all the time, so I'm not necessarily pointing out, and people go, oh yeah, I see. But I mean, if you really just look at that, does that not look like a gorilla to you? Just look at that. Is that like looking like a gorilla, kinda? Making sure my skylight was open there. And if it doesn't, then you're kinda missing out. And then if you go like that, I don't even know if that's her shoulder, his shoulder. I kind of doubt that is. I think that might be somebody else's shoulder. See, this actually might, sometimes I was thinking it was just one hand kind of hanging around the corner here. But it actually might be a set of sunglasses too, but they're turned away that way. You see that? How I'm saying that? So this would be kind of like one of the fake sunglasses, and the other one's going that way more, so. There's a lot going on. I've got a lot of pictures. I probably could end up pulling out like 100 different visual kind of pictures and stuff. Yeah, eh? So you're saying then Scott Carpenter, the name I want to remember there. Gary, make sure when we close this down, if you could please, just shoot his name to me on my channel again when this is uploaded. Thank you. And that way I just, I was a carpenter, so I should, and I worked with a guy named Scott in carpentry way back who left an impression in my life, so I remember his name. Anyways, and has incredible stuff. Okay. Man, if us two got together, eh? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check them out. I probably, I don't know. I can't say that I've probably, Beaker, yeah, more than one there though. I hope you're seeing that, Brown. Just, that video is up. You just see, Brown, where you're going and you're placing yourself. You need to be looking at the ones where people say they're really good pictures and stuff. You need to be looking at Patty Well. Stuff like that. Like, from my figuring, Patty was a decoy. When she was walking across there, all of a sudden, yeah, they were getting a bit of a surprise. And bam, she went into decoy mode. She carried them away from where the family was hanging out. This is when numbers were a lot smaller, obviously. In those 50 years, we've gone, we've doubled and stuff. Us humans in those 50 years, they have done whatever they've done. I don't know. That number can be just too bizarre to try to think about when I say that they're involved with the trees. But yeah, so you think about that. I've gone back to that video, and I bet you other people hardly, maybe some have done it. But I've gone back to that video, scouting this area of the video. As she's walking across here, I try to watch this area and such. So interesting stuff. You're scouting, and that's what going outside your box isn't a comfort zone. Going outside your box is just in your thought zone. So if you have not studied chimpanzees, go watch chimpanzees for a while. They're tree animals. They're bipeds that just through that trees and other subjects or other species. Oh, was there any other subjects? I have not spotted anything. Because my thought is it was probably deeper yet. And she, because you think about it, how guys on horses, they're packing guns. How uncomfortable are you getting at all? Or is she at all? Or, yeah, it was a female. She doesn't have a male to say, hey, chill, it's okay, we'll just go this way or whatever type thing. I'm sure it's kind of, there is going to be stuff there. And so she's doing the, I could be totally wrong. She's out there, da, 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 da. All of a sudden noise comes through and such like that. But nowadays, it doesn't happen very much. Not in these kind of areas, because especially if somebody came up there on a horse, everybody's going to be so interested, they're going to want to go and see him. So that would be a good idea. If you want them to come close to you, just attract them. That's all you have to do. So anyways, peace out from the Tin Man. Thanks everybody for joining in. Having a good time. Oh yeah, eh, Gary? I hear you. Well, I'll try to do some for you, so hopefully that, you can... Remember, Gary, read my words on my stuff. If I end up... Because I'll watch if I haven't commented on a video, I'll watch other people and they'll say, hey, check out 420. So I go to 420, I check it out, I see my confirmation or not, and I'll talk about it also and such. So watch for my comments lots of times. I try to encourage where the real faces are, where the real action is. I'm sure you've seen my first face-to-face. I'm sure everybody... See it, Torben? Sure everybody has seen my first face-to-face. And Brown Dwarf, if you watch my first face-to-face and you're not really connecting with that, then we need to... Because I know you're enjoying scouting, becoming a scout, all that kind of stuff. I could help you really realize what's going on in that video if you needed help with that. So, and go back to and listen to your video and listen to it a whole bunch of times. Listen to it with the PA system, measure things, understand the echoes of things, understand the echoes of things when they're over here, back here, all that kind of stuff. Peace out, everybody. Thanks again.